Hey guys, welcome to round 3 of the competitive EDH tournament. Unfortunately, the first 2 recordings were unsuccessful. I did lose both games, if you're wondering, but neither game... I've had some trouble with my recording software, so I'm hoping this one works. This hand is doable, so I'm going to do something interesting this time, and I'm going to be playing my deck on the side in paper. But I'm going to obviously shuffle and see what I would draw otherwise, just to kind of test variance and what this deck does to kind of avoid the consequences of variance. You know, how does it become more consistent, and where does it lack in consistency? So it's kind of just a little bit of an experiment, but alright, so a forest, nothing too terrifying. Most likely some sort of dork pass. Yep. Alright, so my draw in-game was Arcane Denial, and in paper I drew an Eternal Witness. In some facets, they do similar things. In others, they do not. So I already know what I'm going to fetch for here. It's going to be an Overgrowth Tomb, so I'm just going to do that in paper on the side. Aha! Thrasios is losing. Just kidding. Stupid. So my guess is that this Thrasios deck, like the Thrasios decks that I built, is designed to generate infinite mana. The fact that it's in 4 colors is really great for it. It could also just not be really a combo deck. It could be, you know, more of a control deck given its colors. The red wouldn't help it with controlling, though. If he really wanted to play control, he would have played. He would probably play Tymna as opposed to Vial Smasher. Although, you know, red has its slight pros, I guess, in like gamble. Things like Blasphemous Act are actually pretty powerful, especially whenever combined with Vial Smasher. But red is pretty much the weakest EDH color, more or less tied with white. It kind of depends, but... Okay, so Bloodstained Mire for Scrubland. This is going to be Boonweaver combo, so basically I'm going to want to be Shadow Doubting him probably, although it could be... That's unfortunate. Although it really shuts down this Thrasios, so I'm going to kind of let it happen for now, because it doesn't really quite affect me. Alright, so I go down to 39. 38. View, Library, Overgrown Tomb, where are you? There it is. Alright, so I draw a Barrenmoor, and in real life I drew a Mind Stone. So I'm just going to play the Felwar Stone here, because I would prefer to... I'm going to cycle this Barrenmoor. Not bad. I could have held up Shadow Doubt, but it just didn't seem like... There's a balance in all Magic games where you have to kind of consider, is it better to further my own game plan, or is it better to prevent someone else from carrying out their own? And in this situation, I think it's almost always better on turn 1 and turn 2 to kind of further your own situation. For me. I personally think that's a better route most of the time. But again, that's just my opinion. Just gonna go over here in the chat and look up Boon Weaver, or I can go over here, look up Boon Weaver. I'm working on a budget. Enters the battlefield, you may search your library graveyard. Okay, so basically I want to keep up Shadow of Doubt for when that enters, probably. And then just be able to kill it or something. I wonder what he tutored for. Not playing it. All three of us off to a pretty slow start by comparison to some of the other games I've been in. Yep, that's annoying. I'm not really sure that this stacks kind of thing is really all that threatening to me, but interesting choice on the Spirit. I mean, I feel like Canonus is the scarier dude. Animate Dead on Spirit of the Labyrinth isn't great. There's nothing else in my graveyard, so I didn't get to draw a card in real life there, so I drew Yawgmoth's Will in real life, and I drew Soul Ring in game. That is an artifact spell, so I can cast an additional spell this turn. I'm just going to go ahead and play out Tasigur. Okay, so we've resolved our Tasigur. Hopefully we can get him going, although that may be challenging. See, the prison portion of the Karador deck is not tremendously threatening. I guess, oh, by the way, in real life, so if I were to play this turn, I would have played Mind Stone, and then I would have had to probably play Demonic Tutor, which may have been responded to, may not have been, but I would have tutored up Toxic Deluge. I think that's my best option. And the reason for that is because I didn't have something to really win the game, so it's better than to be defensive when you are not in a position to just win. I mean, I suppose I could have gone for like Entomb or something, but see, so if I do Animate Dead the Spirit of the Labyrinth, then I can prevent Thrasios from comboing off, which could actually be really useful. So that might be something to consider doing. It's not exactly ideal, but it works. I can also just Abrupt Decay Thrasios, which seems like it might be a little bit better. Also, let me know how you feel about this whole playing Paper Magic and playing. I don't have a way of like showing the cards in the Paper Magic version, so it might be a little confusing. And that's okay, it's an experiment. I'm just kind of trying something new to see what would happen if, I had different cards, basically. Like, would I, like, let's say I lose this game, would I have won otherwise? Or vice versa, if I win this game, if I drew different cards, would I have lost? And also, how does the deck fight those things? In what way does this deck combat variance? How does this deck combat variance? That's the word I was looking for. That's fine, I don't care about that. Attack me with Ethersworn Canonist. I dare you. Alright, so draw. Hit Carpet of Flowers in game, and I hit Reality Shift in paper. I can play this Carpet of Flowers, and it gives me a little bit more mana next turn, which could allow a Psych Rift or something, but I don't know if that's optimal. I can also Demonic Tutor for Deluge, but I wouldn't be able to play it this turn. I have to wait another turn. I think it's better to just pass. I have Shadow of Doubt, which is really good. I have Abrupt Decay. Like, I have a lot of instant things, and then if nothing happens, I can just activate Tasigur. I didn't want to attack here because it allows me to block, so I'm no longer going to be, like, I'm not a target of the Karador player. So yeah, I think that's pretty decent. So what's really cool about this is, like, let's say I accidentally hit Gilded Drake with Tasigur. Well, that's part of the reason why I'm saving this Animate Dead, is because, like, if I accidentally hit something, I'm in a great place. Okay, so getting rid of the other Swarm Canonist is actually not too bad, because now we can play more than a spell a turn. It really actually frees up our ability to stay ahead in this game. So yeah, I'm okay with that. Really okay with that. And like I said, in my paper version, I had the reality shift, but I have Abrupt Decay too. I just have no interest in blowing up the small permanents right now. Like, Other Sworn Canonist wasn't hurting me too much. It was hurting Thrasios. This is not going to happen. So the reason I tapped the Overgrown Tomb is so that I can continue to hold up Arcane Denial. And I stopped the Buried Alive because that sounds horrible for me. So, yeah. Thought that was pretty nifty. I can get rid of Buried Alive. I mean, I don't know how important that is. I mean, if he snaps it back, I have options. Still have the Arcane Denial, for instance, you know. Yeah, but I do like the Shadow of Doubt draw. And Shadow of Doubt has been really good. I know that people in my last match, which, again, you guys didn't get to see, unfortunately, but people in my last match were talking about how it might be a suboptimal card. It's really good. Like, Yisun decks, no. cEDH decks, no. So it shuts down those two, and those are kind of probably tier... I think cEDH is probably tier 1.5, I think. I mean, it's kind of hard to tier Commander, but... But basically, you know, those decks are more or less, you know, popularly played decks. Also, every deck is running a buttload of tutors. That's how these decks stay consistent most of the time. So, by not allowing the decks to be consistent and drawing a card off of it, I think that is a rather good card for EDH. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Karador? Hellish Norn. Okay. Alright, so if we draw a mana source this turn, that would be fantastic. We didn't. So now... Spirit of Labyrinth just dies, so what we really want to do, actually, is 1, 2, Demonic Tutor. Oh wait, 1, 2, Floating 1, play Demonic Tutor. Oh, I forgot to draw in real life. So what I drew in real life was Training Grounds, which is actually, well, I would have drawn Training Grounds and Mystic Remora, which are both actually pretty decent. I still wouldn't have Tasker out though in real life probably at this point, so I'd have to like get moving on that. But I also would have played the Demonic Tutor already, so this would be different. So I'm just going to grab Gilded Drake, which is really great for me because it kills off his entire side of the board. So, yeah, now we have a really beefy Tasigur, which is nice. I think my goal is to just kill off this guy. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I can easily answer one player, whereas I can't quite do that with two. Alright, so he's at 20 right now. I have 10 damage coming at him next turn. So he's on a 2-turn clock, and I have Dimir Charm to kill off Gilded Drake with Regrowth to get it back and then play it again. So I have a lot of really great options actually at my disposal right now. And I think that I can probably win. So also this is a 3DH round. Ooh, that's nifty. Alright. I mean, we get a burgeoning, a land. Okay, so I got to discard my whole hand. Okay, so I got, in my actual hand, I got a bunch of lands, Snapcaster Mage, Show and Tell, and a Palinchron. Snapcaster can get back Demonic Tutor, and I can go infinite with Palinchron in my real life hand. In this hand, I have Thought Vessel, which is nice. Wheel of Fortune is an interesting play. Should be in his graveyard. But the lack of creature on his side is going to allow me to get in for 10. What all did he get rid of? He got rid of a Windfall too, so he had 2 ways of cycling Necromancy. So that's interesting. Not terribly interesting. I mean, he is running a Bury Alive combo deck, so, you know. So 5 cards in his graveyard, 5 creatures. So Karador costs 3. Just green, black, and white. I can Mystical Tutor before my turn, but for what? See, that's the real dilemma here. So there's not a terrible amount. Like, I guess it's situational. So I guess he was topping. That's what was taking so long. I don't think that I need to Mystical Tutor. Yeah, I'll just draw. In real life, I drew a forest. So I get 2 of what color here? Let's go blue. So we can go 1 for the Mystic Remora. Alright, so he takes 10 damage. And combat... Oh. Yeah, I messed that up. I messed that floating in the blue. I should have used the blue, kept the Soul Ring up, but it's okay. Just go ahead and end the turn. Right. So you get to draw a card for that. That's nice. City of Brass isn't amazing, but the more mana I have, the better I am off. Because a lot of my combos actually rely on having mana. Alright, so it looks like he has resolved his brainstorm. Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 8, 9. If he plays another island, well, no, I'll have 10 mana. So basically what I'm thinking about is, what if he like wheels again, I can response long-term plans, which is huge. Okay. By the way, on my last turn, in real life, I played a command tower. He's got to discard one more. So Windswept Heath. Alright. Does he have enough to win this game? Oh, actually on the frantic search, I missed it. Deluge is not bad. I could flash in Deathrite Shaman. I'm not sure it's worth it. I mean, it could block Karador, because my Deathrite would be a 3/4, which is pretty cool. I don't think he's going to attack me with Karador, though. Swamp and an island. Alright. Yeah, so the unfortunate part about my new hand after the wheel is that I don't have that much interaction. I mean, I guess I could have Mystical Tutored for something, but... Okay, so he's tapping a red source for Faithless Looting. A Mind Stone isn't going to help me here. I'm really relying on someone to play a land. Because with a land I can play Mystical Tutor and activate Tasigur. Had I tapped correctly, I could have done that anyway, but, you know. Pitches Survival of the Fittest and Noxious Survival. But imagine that means he pretty much has the combo. Hey! It gets shuffled in anyway, so yeah, sure. Alright. It's not great. I have actually some similar stuff. I have a Burgeoning in hand now in my real life hand. I have a Talisman of Dominance, Life from the Loam, Forest, Barren Moor, Chrome Mox, and Rapid Hybridization. That wasn't the best for us. I'll say that. Yeah, we had a lot of really good stuff in hand at that point in time, and now we don't. That's okay. I think that I have too much mana ramp right now. I mean, like, the deck itself is composed fine, but, like, this hand is too heavy on ramp and not enough on interaction, so I'm going to be casting Fact or Fiction rather than activating Tasigur in order to get ahead. Now, I am going to attack the Thrasios dude. Well, maybe not, because I don't have all that much interaction. But, I mean, he did just, like, wheel a bunch. I don't know. I'm okay with my hand being wheeled a lot. It's just that there's not a whole ton for me to really do. If he attacks... No, I still can't do it. I could activate refuge and play Elves of Deep Shadow so I can attack for 1. Well, actually be 3, and that would kill him if he attacks him with both guys. That could work. Ooh. Response. Well. So I'm going to play the Fact or Fiction in response, and I'm going to choose the Thrasios dude. Isn't the best for me. Are we just dead? Is the real question. Boonweaver costs 5, right? No, he costs 7. Okay, so we're good. I'm going to take this E-Witness Shadow of Doubt. 1, because I have Yogg's Will, and 2, because E-Witness gets me back delay or whatever I want. And I can do it at instant speed, so there's no real downside to any of it. So my hope is that he ends up playing a land this turn. It's not likely, but it's possible. If he were to do that, I would play the Tainted Wood, well, I could play the Mire. The Mire's probably better, because then I can fetch, find a tap land, basically, and move on. I think that's probably smarter. Yeah, because then Tainted Wood comes in untapped and fine. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'd have 10 mana if he plays land this turn. Of course, I would only have 9 because I'm going to pay for this Mystic Remora because it's done work so far. It's definitely a really great card to have. And super cheap. It's like 50 cents or something ridiculously low like that. So I'm a big advocate of Mystic Remora. I think it's better than Study in most decks. Study's only good if you're like playing a really slow game like Stacks. Shriekmaw. Okay, so he's just gonna kill the Elish Norn. That doesn't make any sense to me right now, though, because I could have killed him this turn, and now I didn't. Well, I guess he can swing now at him for 6. Unfortunately, those wheels might actually hurt me a lot. I'm also not terribly familiar with the Karador lists, so I may need... aha, I get to play land. It's tapping 2 lands. See, I counted that just because it slows my hand down a lot, and I really don't want that to happen. So yeah, that's basically why I did that. Yeah, that's definitely not great for me, but... Well... Ah. There we go. Okay, so we're going to get something to kill this. What do we want? think about what's in my deck. Alright, so if I get something like, I think Beast Within is the cheapest thing I can use, if I'm not mistaken. Then I can Beast Within my own Gilded Drake, replay the Gilded Drake to steal Elvish Norn, and still kill off the Thrasios File Smasher player. Oh, I could also just go Infinite, maybe. Let's think, because I can... Okay, so let me do some math. Here, I play this. I can untap 6 lands. It's only enough to continually bounce. It's not enough to generate infinite mana at the moment. So... that does not work. We could just go Phantasmal Image, copy the Gilded Drake, Elvish Norn. That leaves me with loads of mana to retutor if I want to, or to just play like a Signet. I think that's probably right. I'm going to play the Signet, Tainted Wood, also Deep Shadow. Sorry, I stopped with the playing in real life thing, mostly just because this was too, there was just too much going on. So. The reason I'm killing off this guy is, like I said before, it's much easier for me to answer one player than it is for me to answer 2. So, wow, everything just got a lot bigger. Alright, so we have options, more or less. So he's topping 3 mana for what? Kind of sucks. Alright, so let's see what I get. Probably Fact or Fiction. Alright, delay. Yeah, makes sense. So I'm going to go E-Witness, grab back Dark Petition. Yes, this should work. So we'll go Toxic Deluge. Okay, so he's go to my graveyard, and the next turn with the Yawgmoth Spill, I can probably get it. So unfortunately with Yawgmoth's Will and Tasigur, I can't just win the game with Tasigur. Next turn, it kind of stinks. How about absolutely not? Demonic Tutor works. So we may not have to Yawgmoths. Alright, hold on a second. So Demonic Tutor is very different. That makes this a whole different game. Demonic Tutor plus Mystical Tutor. Demonic Tutor, Mystical Tutor. So if I Demonic Tutor... I think Palinchron is the right choice. Six, seven. Yes, we can go Aetherflux Reservoir. Okay, that's the easiest way. I was really struggling with that. Okay, so Yawgmoth's Will gets exiled. And then the extra floating. Alright, so we got there. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.